Hi guys, thanks for coming back. Today we're going to talk more about the Bead by 1928 line, and the focus of this video is going to be the tri-hole bead that's in that line. We have it in rusted iron, we have it in gingerbread, we have it in old silver, and we have it in raw unplated pewter as well, so that you can use swelligant patinas, acrylic paint, stuff like that on it. Make it all your own. So I have one here in my hot little hands that is rusted iron, and a lot of people have said when they first look at this, it's like, what is that? But this is really a good piece out of the 1928 line. I was really kind of surprised that they let me have this, because this has been a big part of their line for many years. And it usually goes in an assemblage. It kind of looks, it's very beautiful, but it kind of reminds you of an ice pick. And it goes this way. And then it twirls and spins around. Maybe you might remember my necklace that I showed, I think I had it on the last video, with the hand and the spinner that had the tri-hole bead in it. Well, we don't have that assembly right now. I'm not sure if we're going to have the assembly and the tri-hole bead. It kind of gets really spendy when you get that and put it together. So we're going to do other things with the tri-hole bead, because there's a lot you can do. And even there are even other things that 1928 does with it. So, you know, hey, the sky's the limit. It's your imagination. But I'm just going to show you some of the things about the tri-hole bead today. You can see I'm wearing a necklace that's got it in it. It's got my Mona Lisa in there. So I'm just going to show you a few little peculiarities about setting the stones in this bead, and then I'll take my necklace off and you can get a close-up shot of what maybe you could do with it, and you'll just take it from there and have a great time. So come on over, because the party's just getting started. I'm going to show you all about the tri-hole bead. Okay. So getting back to things, we have a finished piece that employs the tri-hole bead. I put this together this morning with mixed colors of metal, another piece from the Bead by 1928 line, my Mona Lisas, a tulip bead cap. I use matte black there. Everything blends really nicely. I love this piece, and it's a good layering piece too. But you can see how it goes. You take a long piece of wire, or a long head pin or eye pin probably better, and you thread it through the bead. I like to add my little accent beads and stuff on the end, and then you have to set the stones. And I always say you need to put that wire or eye pin through there first, because once you set the stones, you can't see where it is to guide it. And some have commented it's frustrated them, and then they realize, well, I should have done that first. So when you're using this bead, be sure that you insert your eye pin that you're going to use or your wire before you put the cameos in, or you're going to have trouble, okay? So I'm just going to show you a little bit about that. Here we are with the bead. This is a rusted iron pewter bead from the Bead by 1928 line. And as you can see, I have a long eye pin in it. The bead has 3 openings in it, but they have this little lip. I'm going to take my toothpick and use it as a pointer. There's a little lip along in here. And that's where you're going to want to put your glue very finely. And less is more. Just so long as you get every surface here covered, and then get your stone down into there, you're going to be fine. Put your wire through first, and then set your stones. So I'm going to set the stones. And what I've decided to use are these really cool, I'm going to put one in here, just set it in so that you can see. When I lifted that up, Javi, did it show for them? Okay, good. Just tell me if I get out of shot. We're still experimenting with our camera shots to make them better for you. I selected this acrylic reptile stone to put into this bead because not only does it fit, but it looks like $1,000,000. And what's really nice, because you do need 3 stones, if you can find something that's inexpensive to use, well, so much the better for you, and these aren't. They're not expensive at all. So, now you might say, just a little aside, you might say, well, you know, Brenda Sue, why would I want to use a plastic stone? Well, you know, some plastic stones are gorgeous. They keep the weight down in your piece. They keep the cost down. It's a big why not. If you go and you look at a lot of designer jewelry, I'm not just talking about run-of-the-mill fashion jewelry that you get in the mall. I'm talking about really good designer jewelry. Going back even into the 60s. And previous too. There was a lot of use of acrylic and lucite and composition plastic stones. Kenneth J. Lane used gobs of them in his colorful work, and it's highly collected today. So don't think that because you didn't use a glass stone that your jewelry is lesser quality. That doesn't mean it. So long as the stone fits, you've set it well, and it looks great, you're good to go. So let's get this thing glued up. So I've got my little tube of E6000, and let's just see how steady I am with the glue today, because I came home from California, and don't you know, I got the flu. I don't know if I picked it up on the plane or what, but it's been kind of a miserable last few days. Jordan told me, Mom, you have not made a video with Bisou by 1928 for about a month. You've got to do it. And I'm like, you're right, son, I do. So here I go. I'm going to get this in on this lip. Now, it's okay if I'm a little messy, because the only thing could happen if glue leaks around and goes, it's going to go down in, which you will never ever see. So you really want to get that clear out to the edge too. So it's going to hold your stone really well. I'm not telling you to be, you know, messy on purpose. I'm just saying if it gets a little bit messy on the inner rim, no problem. If it's messy on the outer rim, then yeah, you do have a problem, because then that glue is going to show and your piece is going to look like you didn't care. And we can't have that, so, because you know you care. I know you care. Okay, now I've got a little bit too much there, so I'm going to just set this guy aside and get another one and kind of push that over, because I don't want that to seep out over the edge when I press my stone down in. Using even a little bit less than I did would not be out of order. Okay, I think maybe I'll make it. Let's see. So now I'm going to take my stone, and this one doesn't really have an up or down, so you know, just however I want to put it in. Okay, so I lay it in first, just kind of line it up, and then I'm just going to tap it with my finger, because this way, less chance of that glue slobbing out. Just kind of tamp it in place. That's down. Isn't that pretty? Don't you think that's... Oh, geez, that's beautiful. Some people don't like brown, but brown's one of my favorite colors, but that's probably because it looks good on me. You know, people go with that. And copper, too. Okay, let's keep going, guys. We've got 2 more to go. Javi says we're making a 15-minute video today. I don't know. You know that's hard for me. But maybe we'll get there. Since we have a very specific subject, this bead. Okay, so here I go. Again, it doesn't matter if that blobs down inside a little bit. No big deal. Just keep it inside, not on the outside. Because we don't want any glue to show. I will be so delighted if I end up with no cleanup. You know, that's another thing about good glue management. You know, it means less cleanup. Because the last thing you want is sending something out that you use glue on with glue showing. That just says messy work. And that doesn't mean I've never done it, but let me tell you what, it was a mistake. I try so hard to make sure that there's never, ever any glue peeking out. We do the assemblages and stuff. That's got to come Ouch. Get off that piece. Okay, now we're going to see if we have the same success. So I'm going to just gently set it in to position. You want to be sure you have it down in so it's seated, and then just tamp. This is the way I do it, guys. If you have a better way, don't worry, it's fine. Maybe this will work for you if you didn't have a better way. So now we got 2 in, and voila, no glue showing. So now we got 2. Okay, we got one last one to go. And yeah, you can see probably that there's a little bit of glue globbing going on in there, but like I say, who's going to see that, right? Nobody. That kind of glue globbing doesn't matter. But on the outside, oh baby, it matters. Big time. Never want that. Never, ever, ever. Okay. This is really a pretty good lip to glue on too. So I've seen pieces where they don't give you hardly anything for your glue, and then you worry, well, you know, I think I can get my glue in there okay, but is my stone going to hold? You know, but this is not the case. Everything they do is just wise. They think when they design these pieces, they think of all the angles, and they really got a nice lip. So now I've got to remove a little bit of that because there's a little bit extra. Sorry if you hear me sniffling a little bit. Try hard not to do that. It's kind of distracting. Down here in the workshop, you know, it's in our basement, and it gets a little cool down here in the winter as well. And we can't leave the Eden Pure on when we're filming because then you'll hear it and it'll be a distraction. Okay, so I think I have that in there. What do you think? I think I might be good with this one too. Oh boy, wouldn't it be great if we got three good ones and no cleanup? That's the goal. Neat gluing, no cleanup. Let's see where it goes. Set it down and position it. Tamp, 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 tamp. Tamp, 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 tamp. Okay. I'm going to check. See how that spins on there? It would still spin freely for you if you don't run your ends tight like I did on my piece. I put little beads and stuff up there, and I connected it tight. You know, I ran my loops tight. But if you do like maybe some wonky loops, or just, you know, leave yourself some space so, you know, allow it to move. That could be a fun thing, right? But this is clean as a whistle. And it'll set up. Oh wait, what do I see here? Oh, I see a little glue thread. Those count too. No glue threads. Must not have them. Of course, you can always get rid of them later. That's the only thing here. I saw one little glue thread. And he's being stubborn, so I'll have to get him later. I don't know if I can get him off without disturbing him, pretty much. Anyway, that's how it goes. It's as easy as that. You need 3 stones, 18 by 13. You need a piece of wire. You don't have to have a big long eye pin like this. We do carry some from time to time. I like them, but you don't have to have that. Get yourself some 20 gauge wire and you're good in the color that you need. And go for it. It's going to look great. Keep your costs down. Use acrylic beads maybe, or some vintage glass you have. And watch her twirl. How you like that? Okay guys, well that's my tip for the day, how to use the tri-hole bead. I hope maybe you'll come over to bsuboutiques.com and pick some up. They're under the Bisou by 1928 category, and if you haven't been to our site for a while, you will see there's a great big banner for Bisou by 1928 now. It's completely and fully branded with my brand and 1928 brand. And just one thing I wanted to mention to you too, when you make jewelry from these things, you do not have to call out that the pewter pieces were made by 1928. You can, if you want. I think it's a good selling point personally. But that's why, in fact, that's why I took the name. But you don't have to. You know, some people, you know, they have these angel policies and stuff, and if it's something they made, you know, you've got to call out the company or the artist. You don't have to do that. But if you make stuff from it and you want to mention it, you can say the parts are Bisou by 1928, because only the molded part is really 1928. The rest of it, I curated the line. I pulled them out of the 35,000 castings they have there by searching, and then I had collaboration with someone else to create the custom finishes that are on them. These are not finishes that 1928 would probably ever use. So they are Bisou by 1928. They are not the new 1928 parts. They are Bisou by 1928, and they're free for you to use, but you want to call them out, they're Bisou by 1928, and the jewelry that you make from them is your jewelry under your brand. Like if I make jewelry from this, it's Bisou Boutique's jewelry. It's not 1928 jewelry. It's Bisou Boutique's jewelry. So thanks to everybody who's already been supporting this line and have bought the stuff. I hope you'll come over and get the tri-hole bead and give it a shot. And I thank you for your support. I thank you for putting the news out there with those hashtags, Bisou by 1928. I'm overwhelmed by the support. So let's keep it going. Let's see where this line goes. Maybe we'll all get some great results from it. So I'll see you next time as soon as possible, okay? Have a great day.